this is Charlie from Charlie's Awesome World of Adventures, and as we're running up to the end of the year, there are a few movies that were released earlier that I didn't have a chance to review on, that I want to review now before I do my list of the worst and best films of the year. One of those being Ultraman Rising. It's about Ken Sato, a baseball player who's moved back to Japan after the disappearance of his mother, and to take over his father's mantle as the new Ultraman. However, during a kaiju battle, he ends up finding an egg that holds a baby kaiju, which has never been seen before. Or so Ken will have to try reconnect with his father to balance his baseball life while taking care of this new kaiju that they call Emmy. Meanwhile, also keeping her away from Dr. Onda, who wants to use her to find Kaiju Island. So, I know very little about Ultraman. Honestly, anything set in Japan, like animes and all that stuff, isn't really my thing. However, I was quite interested when I saw the trailers for this film. It did look like it was going to be pretty cool, and be an interesting feature. I didn't have too many high expectations, but I was hoping we'd at least have something that was pretty good. So did we get something that was pretty good? I'd say we did. Like, I wouldn't go as far and call it one of the best films of all time. I'm all one of the best films of the year, but I will easily call this Netflix best movie of the year. Yeah, this was a great watch. So let's get into the characters. The elements of each that I say is pretty good. But I know, it's weird just me saying it's pretty good, but the rest of the film is great. So the characters are just good in comparison. Doesn't mean that bad. It's just compared to the rest of the film, everything is a little bit better than that, But one thing that is great about these characters is the voice acting, where the actors put all their heart and emotion into the feature to bring these guys to life. But getting into the characters themselves, first we have Ken Sato. Now, in my first watch of the film, I didn't get that he was supposed to be either selfish dog that's supposed to be selfless, and I just saw him, or just new baseball players. I tried to balance his life with Ultraman and being a new parent, while reconnecting with that. I'll admit I saw that a bit more on the second viewing, but he is still a solid character. And his relationship with his father, that can be quite enjoyable. Well, and heartwarming. Speaking of which, this is father, Professor Sato. So, the previous Ultraman, and who has stayed distant from Ken, but is willing to go back with him when and Emmy mixes into the mix. Speaking of that kaiju, Emmy is the young baby with strong powers that have never been seen before in kaiju. I really like how cute she is. It actually did offer some extra entertainment. There's also Mina, the Ken's robotic assistant, that helps look after the Emmy. But me and Amy, the journalist that's interested in Ken's life, all trying to balance that with her hyperactive daughter. And then there is Dr. Ondra. Now, there have been a lot of movies this year that have had some pretty dull to pretty weak villains. However, out of all of them, Ondra's the one where I saw the most potential. As someone who lost his family during the kaiju attack, he's someone who's not doing this for himself, but rather wants to make sure everyone in the city to get a chance with their loved ones, and wants to only kill off the kaiju just to protect them. I like how this one had a villain that's not exactly evil per se, that all wants to rule the world, but someone that rather wants to protect people, but it's just going down the wrong way of doing it. However, he just becomes the generic military man that wants to extinct Inkle kaijus. Not to mention that it doesn't really go in too much into the loss of his family. I don't already spread that a little bit around the feature. Next, there's the story. Now we move on from the good element to the great elements. Technically, the Ultraman Rising is a typical origin story film. However, I think that works well. One I think that this film does really well is the theme of balance. And parenthood. Of course, most new parents are going to struggle with that by looking after their kid, and balancing that with their career isn't going to be the easiest thing. However, the feature does give an interesting lesson about parenting, where even though it's hard to balance all of that, when you put everything together, everyone takes some time. It can be easy to make a solid balance. It's a great message about parenting that I don't think many features should show before, and something I think should be seen in a lot more films. On top of that, the way the film is structured is pretty solid. What story is a little predictable, but as it is a typical raising a supernatural creature while protecting it from the authority type of story. I did think that it makes up for it with its execution, making the half of the film be really strong, especially with the relationship between Ken and Stan, and that can be quite heartwarming and sweet. Also, Ken's relationship with other characters like Emmy and Mina, and of some of the film's tender moments, and can be heartwarming and does everything it can to protect his new baby kaiju. And then there is the animation. And the best way to describe it is that it's the Netflix version of the Spider-Verse films, where the animation is more stylized. And honestly, I can easily say that the animation is the best part of this feature. What I really like is the designs. And why it's noticeable that they still have that Japanese influence, but modernized the way to fit in an American feature. That fit really well. And the way they move can be quite creative, especially with effects. Especially when and Professor Sato turned into Ultraman. But the true visual highlights would be the kaijus themselves. As a newcomer, I'm not sure if these are the exact kaijus that are fun and within the series or films. But the way they're designed, is very well crafted, making them seem like big threats. And especially with Emmy playing with her size, where she might seem small and Ken's Ultraman, but when he turns into his normal size, she can look as big as some of the other kaijus he's used to fighting. But what makes the animation splendid to watch is the action scenes. They don't happen all the time, but when they do, they become the highlights of the feature, so that can leave the viewers on the edge of their seats. It's from the different kaiju battles, tools to protect Emmy from under, to that intense climax. It leads the film to be surprisingly exciting and action-packed. actor doesn't us know the type of action that its audience is expecting. So overall, if you're looking for a great Ultraman movie, this one's for you. Ultraman Rising is a really good and fantastic animated feature. I'm not sure if I call this one of Netflix's best movies of all time. Especially since it doesn't have the most original story, but I'd easily call this the best movie of the year. Yeah, with some great animation, some good execution, intense action, solid characters, and some talented voice acting. I can imagine a huge Ultraman fan and getting a good kick and having a blast out of this. But as for newcomers, I'd recommend this to new parents. That's a good way to know how to balance parenthood. The message will feel more stronger for them, and more relatable. Oh, 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 it's been a while since Ultraman's been on screens, but at least he returned with an Ultra movie, and that's why I'm giving this. It's a 9.5 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!